differently. Reasonableness, I hear. Moderation in the King James comes out. What else? JD. Sorry, say again? Gentleness, okay. Forbearance is another one. Big-heartedness. This is the idea of this gentle spirit. So let your gentle spirit be known to who? To all men, right? So this is how all should know us, right? By this gentle spirit. This idea, if I look in Louw-Nida, in their lexicon, it says pertaining to being gracious and forbearing, gentle, gracious, not to speak evil of anyone, nor to be quarrelsome, but to be forbearing. Thayer has it. The word for gentle can be translated in the ways we just talked about: moderation, forbearance, big-heartedness. These all refer to the same kind of spirit. The word spirit's not in the text, by the way, little less, right? But he's talking about our spirit, our gentle spirit, but necessarily implied here as we think of this idea. So we are to have this gentle spirit, this meekness, this forbearance in moderation as we consider this idea. And then he leads into verse 6, right? He leads in verse 6, have this, or excuse me, at the end of verse 5 here, let me not skip this, be known unto all men, the Lord is near. So the Lord is near, speaking of time or space. Anybody thoughts on that? Time. Okay, so we know what that means. Time means the Lord is near, the second coming of the Lord. What do I mean by space? Relationship or nearness. Matthew 28 and verse 20, I think it is. I will never leave you or forsake you. Speaking of the idea the Lord is near. If you feel after him, you can find him. So I'm of the opinion it's more related to time because it fits the context better. JD, you have a comment?
For me, my answer to this question would be it actually is, in a way, both. Because there are multiple times in the verses we read in the Bible and several songs in our hymnals that say the Lord is with us, is always with us, standing beside us. And so I think it is referring to both space and time, referring to his second coming. Because we don't know when it's going to be. It could be in the next millisecond, could be the next century. We just don't know. But yeah, I say it would be both.
So what motivates, thanks JD, what motivates this behavior is the fact, this idea of this gentle spirit is the fact that the Lord is near. Again, I'm not gonna be dogmatic on whether it's nearness in time. In other words, speaking of his second coming, there are those that will twist the idea of the use of nearness into the 80-70 doctrine and try to define what near means. Well, he said near, so it's been 2,000 years. So he had to come in 80-70 because near is not 2,000. Well, that's just your assumption, right? That's not scriptural. But what we mean by that that idea is, don't be troubled by the fact that whether it's time or space, right? The nearness in time of Christ's actual appearance or figuratively, the Lord's presence is always among his believers. Whether it's one or the other, again, I think it's talking about the second coming there as we think about that. It's people get focused in on these words near, and I've done some studying on if you think about the end of time eschatology, the study of AD 70, and they look at passages like this and build whole doctrines around what it means the Lord is near. The Lord is near. But John, Peter, Paul spoke of the imminent coming, second coming. It's going to happen, right? So it's near in the sense that it's sure. It's going to happen. We don't know when it's going to happen, but it's coming at some point. So we should live in a way that we are prepared for that coming. That's Matthew chapter 25, after you get out of chapter 24 in the parables that are spoken of there. But it's interesting as you look at this. So the Lord is near. We should live. Let your gentle spirit be known to men. Live in that way. And don't be anxious. What does it mean to be anxious? It's always a big topic. What does anxious mean? It's a negative connotation. In what way? It causes us to have anxiety. What does it do to us?
Worry.
You're not content. I hear worry, right? It's a dividing of our focus, right? If you think about it, it's pulling at us two different ways. Some of the definitions that are given here, and I think I actually have it here.